She reported me to HR out of jealousy. Security footage saved me the mail. Came at 8:42 a.m. Subject: immediate HR meeting, mandatory attendance. I hadn't even finished my coffee. By 9:15, I was sitting in a glass conference room on the 14th floor of our downtown Chicago office, staring at two HR representatives and my department director. Their expressions were neutral. They were rehearsed. Evan, Melissa from HR began, folding her hands carefully. A complaint has been filed against you. My stomach dropped. Regarding what? She glanced at the document in front of her. Allegations of inappropriate conduct, hostile behavior, intimidation. I felt heat rise behind my ears. From who? She hesitated. You'll receive full documentation shortly, but I already knew only one person would benefit from this. Only one person had motive. Rachel. 3 weeks earlier, I'd been promoted to senior project manager. It wasn't a surprise. I'd led the biggest account transition in our division, saved the company $1.2 million in vendor renegotiations, pulled 2 teams out of a failing rollout. Rachel had been my peer, same tenure, same level, but when the executive board made their decision, I moved up. She did, in single quotes, to Doherty first. She congratulated me, smiled. Too tight, too polished. Guess they love a good golden boy, she'd said once in the break room, her voice light but edged. I brushed it off. I shouldn't have. HR handed me a printed statement. IT accused me of creating a hostile work environment, demeaning comments, pressuring Rachel during late meetings, standing too close in conference room, sending aggressive after hours. Marcy read it twice, then a third time. The language was calculated, not dramatic, not emotional, professional, structured, designed to sound credible. This is not true, I said evenly. Melissa nodded. You will have an opportunity to respond. I asked the only question that mattered. Am I suspended? For now, she replied. We're placing you on administrative leave pending investigation. Administrative leave? Corporate purgatory. Your badge still works until it doesn't. Over the next 48 hours, silence surrounded me. Co-workers stopped replying to Slack messages. A client email was reassigned. LinkedIn notifications felt like accusations. I replayed every interaction I'd ever had with Rachel. We disagreed on strategy. We debated budget forecasts, but inappropriate. Never. Then I remembered something small. The week before my promotion, Rachel had stayed late to revise projections. I'd stopped by the conference room around 7:15 p.m. She was alone. We talked numbers for maybe 8 minutes. The door had been open, lights on, cleaning crew passing by. Now, in her complaint, she referenced that night specifically. He cornered me in a closed conference room after hours. Closed? It wasn't closed. I knew it wasn't. Because the hallway camera or building has comprehensive security coverage. Every hallway, every entrance, every shared space. It's corporate America. Liability lives everywhere. I called my attorney that afternoon, not because I thought I'd be fired, but because false allegations in a professional setting can end careers. Especially now, especially publicly. He advised one thing immediately: request preservation of all surveillance footage for the dates listed in the complaint. So I did. In writing. Certified. CCIing HR and legal. That changed everything. 3 days later, HR requested a follow-up meeting. This time, corporate counsel was present. That was new. Melissa's tone had softened. We've reviewed security footage from the evening in question. I kept my face neutral. And? She cleared her throat. The conference room door remained open the entire time. I nodded slowly. There were multiple employees visible in the hallway. Yes, and the duration of interaction was under 9 minutes. Correct. Corporate counsel interjected. There is no physical behavior that supports the claim of intimidation. The silence was heavy, strategic. Is that all? I asked. Melissa hesitated. There's more. Rachel hadn't just filed an HR complaint. She'd also forwarded a private Slack message I sent her weeks earlier, out of context. The message read, "Let's tighten this up before leadership tears it apart." She framed it as aggressive, hostile, but what she didn't include were the 17 messages before it, where she admitted the numbers were off, where she asked me to review it urgently. Corporate IT retrieved the fourth thread, context restored, narrative collapsed. But the real unraveling came from something neither of us expected: the security footage from another night. While reviewing surveillance for the alleged incident, legal reviewed adjacent timestamps. That's when they saw it. Rachel entering my office after hours, alone, closing the door, staying for 26 minutes. The complaint stated she felt unsafe being alone with me. But here she was, initiating private after-hours contact without invitation, without documented purpose. Then there was the email, sent from her work account to her personal Gmail. Subject line: backup unattached. Internal promotion metrics, my performance reviews, confidential compensation ranges, documents he had no authorization to access. The allegation wasn't about harassment. It was retaliation. 2 weeks before my promotion, Rachel had applied for the same role. HR records showed she'd requested feedback, specifically about me, specifically about why leadership favored him. Then came the complaint, filed 4 days after my promotion was announced. The timing wasn't subtle. It was strategic, but poorly executed. Because corporate investigations don't stop at accusations. They trace patterns. HR called us both into a joint meeting, neutral conference room. Legal present, Rachel looked composed. Until they played the hallway footage. Until they displayed the Slack thread in full context. Until they showed access logs of her downloading restricted files. Her expression shifted from confident to cornered. I felt overlooked. She finally said, her voice brittle, "He always had visibility." I didn't. "So you filed a harassment complaint?" Legal asked calmly. Silence. No denial, just silence. HR investigations move quietly, but outcomes are decisive. Rachel was placed on immediate suspension, then terminated for filing unknowingly forced complaint unauthorized access to confidential documents. Breakup company. Data Policy Company issued a formal statement clearing my name. Not publicly, but internally. An email went out to leadership confirming unsubstantiated allegations that wording matters. In corporate language, it means exonerated. Still, damage lingers. For weeks, I felt eyes on me, whispers, sympathy disguised as curiosity. False allegations don't just disappear when disproven. They leave residue. But something else happened too. Senior leadership noticed how I handled it. Calm. Documented. Strategic. No social media ans. No retaliation. Just facts. 3 months later, I was assigned oversight of 2 additional teams. Not because of what happened, but because of how I responded. People think revenge is loud. It isn't. It's procedural. It's patient. Rachel wanted to destabilize me. Tarnish credibility. Make leadership doubt their decision. Instead, she exposed her own. Security footage didn't just save my job. It saved my reputation. In corporate America, reputation is currency. Once devalued, it rarely recovers. But this time, the cameras didn't lie, and neither did the data logs. Reflection jealousy doesn't always scream. Sometimes it files paperwork. It schedules meetings. It writes polished complaints. It weaponizes policy. And if you panic, you lose. If you retaliate emotionally, you lose. If you go silent without strategy, you lose. What saved me wasn't anger. It was documentation. Surveillance footage. Full message threads. Access logs. In a world where perception can destroy careers overnight, evidence still matters. Rachel thought an HR report would erase me. Instead, the investigation erased her, because when truth is time-stamped, it doesn't need defending. It defends itself. If this story kept you on edge, don't stop here. Like this video to support more powerful betrayal and justice stories. Comment your thoughts below. What would you have done in this situation? Subscribe to Betrayal and Revenge Stories and turn on notifications so you never miss the next shocking twist. Real stories, real consequences, real justice.